welcome to this video. And on this video we're talking about powers and indices. Those are the things that we're talking about. If we're talking about powers and indices, we have to know that there's a certain situation where you're required to where it is required that a number is multiplied by itself a number of times. So a number can be multiplied by itself a number of times. If you have got, for example, you have got p to the power n, so p to the power n, which simply means this number, which is p, so that p is same as a number, it's a base, and then n simply means it's a power or it's an index. So for example, if you have got a number which is multiplying itself, so if you have got 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and so on, this number you can still write it as 2 to the power 4. Why are you going to write 2 to the power 4? Because this 2 has repeated itself 4 times, so it has been multiplied itself 4 times. So in order for you to reduce this, you're going to say 2 to the power 4. That is the 2 to the power 4 that we have. So this 2 to the power 4, it's the same as p to the power n. So p to the power n, that is what we have there. So which simply means that p is representing the base, any number, it can be any number, and n is representing a power, the number of times the base is multiplying itself. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so apart from that, there is now we have got the rules which governs that, which governs the rules of indices. Call it rules of indices. And I've got 7 rules of indices. So we have got 7 rules. Those are the rules that we're going to talk about. So there are 7 rules of indices, and these are, the first one is p, which is number to the power, which is raised to the power 0. It is what? So p to the which is raised to the power 0 is the same as 1. Why do they say like that? They say any number which is raised to the power 0 is 1. For example, let me give an example. So we say, for example, we have got 4 raised to the power 0. So 4 raised to the power 0, it's the same as 1. That is the one that we have. So 4 raised to the power 0 is the same as 1. So that's the one that we have. So any number raised to the power 0 is 1. We'll go to the rule number 2. Rule number 2, they say any number raised to the power 1 is that number. Any number raised to the power 1 is the same number. So for example, we have got 5 raised to the power 1, which gives us same applies to 5. So 5 raised to the power 1 is the same as 5. That is rule number 2. So rule number 2, we have got any number which is raised to the power 1 is the same number. That is rule number 2. Rule number 3 is when you're multiplying numbers with the same base. So these are the same base. We have got this one and this one. They are the same base. So if you have got the same base E, what do you do to the powers? We add the powers. So the index, we add the index. So same base, we add the index. This is what it is. So example, if we have got, for example, 2 to the power 4 multiplied by 2 to the power 3, for example. So 2 to the power 4 multiplied by 2 to the power 3. So we have got the same base. So this base and this base, they are the same. So these two bases, it can be any number. It can be 5, 5, it can be 6, 6, it can be 7, 7. Yeah, it can be any base. So what are we supposed to do? We get that base and then we add the powers. So it will be 4 plus 3. That's how it is. And then it will give us 2 to the power 4 plus 3. It will give us 7. So it's same as 2 to the power 7. These are the rules that we're going to use. These are the rules that we're going to use as we proceed to the examples, other examples that I'll give. Okay, rule number 4, we are dividing numbers with the same base. We are dividing numbers with the same base. What do we do to the powers? you subtract the powers. So we subtract the powers, quite okay. So we say, for example, we have got 3 to the power 4, 3 to the power 4 divided by 3 to the power 2. That is it. So we are dividing, these are the same bases, and then we are dividing numbers which has got the same base. What do you do to the powers? You subtract the powers. So we are going to say 3 to the power 4 minus 3, which gives us 3 take away, oh, it's a 2 here, sorry, so there's a 2 there, so it's a 2 here. So 4 take away 2, it will give us 3 to the power 2. That is another row which is there. Okay, we move on. We go to rule number 5. So rule number 5 says that when you have got a number which is raised to a certain power, and then there is another power outside the bracket. So there is a number which is, this number is raised to the power m, and then again it is raised to the power n outside. So what do you do to the powers? You multiply the powers. So for example, we're going to multiply the powers. So for example, we have got 4 to the power 3 cross brackets, and then open brackets, there is a 2 outside. So what do you do to the powers? You multiply the powers. So it's same as 4, 3 multiplied by 2, it will give us 6. So it's same as 4 raised to the power 6. That's how it is. Rule number 6. So rule number 6 says that when you're multiplying numbers which are in the same bracket, we're multiplying numbers the same bracket, and then both numbers, they are raised to the power a certain number. So what do? You distribute the powers to all the numbers which are inside the brackets, which are multiplying inside the bracket. So for example, e.g., so we have got for example, we can say open brackets, we have got 2 multiplied by 3 close bracket, and then to the power let's say 2 to the power 2. So that's what we have. So 2 multiplied by 3 to the power 2. So how can we write that one? We distribute, so we say 2 to the power 2, and then multiply by 3 to the power 2. But the fact that the bases are different, we cannot add the powers. So the bases are different, we can't add the powers. What are we supposed to do? To evaluate. So we are going to evaluate that one for us to finish it until the end. So we are going to evaluate that question there. So say evaluate. So when you evaluate, we're going to find that 2 to the power 2 is the same as, remember what I said, it's the same as 2 times 2, which gives us a 4. So it will give us a 4 here, and then multiply by, which is 3 to the power 2. So 3 to the power 2, it's the same as 9. So it's the same as 3 times 3. So it's same as 9. 3 times 3, it's 9. So it will give us 9 there. And then to find the answer for that one, we can simply say 4 times 9. So 4 times 9, it will give us 36. So the answer, it will give us 36 if they have told us to evaluate. So that's how we evaluate. We move on. We go to the last row. The last row says that 1 to the power n, 1 to the power any number. So 1 to the power any number, it is itself 1. So 1 to the power any number, it is 1. For example 1 to the power 10. So 1 to the power 10, we know that it's same as 1 times 1 times 10, 1 times 1 times 1, 10 times, which will still give us 1 because we are multiplying. We are multiplying 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. It will still give us 1. Those are the rules which are there. Okay, we go to the question, to the example that they have given us. So this is the example. They have said evaluate. So evaluate 5 to the power 3 multiplied by 5 to the power negative 1 multiplied by 8 raised to the power 0. So that's what we have been given. So the whole issue when you're solving such questions is that we are supposed to make this base to be the same bases, so that we use the rule number 3. So we are going to use the rule number 3 when you make this one to be the same base. So how can we make that one to be the same base? We know that 8 to the raised to the power 0 is the same as 1. So 8 raised to the power 0 is the same as 1. So which simply means that even if we were to write 5 raised to the power 0, it will still give us 1. Yes, yeah, it will still give us 1. Okay, so now if it can give us 5 to the raised to the power 0 and 8 raised to the power 0, which simply means the same. Whether there is 8 to the power 0, whether there is 5 to the power 0, it will still give us 1. Whether there is 6 to the power 0, it will still give us 1. Whether there is 100 to the power 0, it will still give us 1. But the base that we want as is this base. That's what we want. So that's the reason why we're going to get this one in the place of 8 to the power 0. So we're going to write it. We're going to say 5 to the power 3 multiplied by 5 to the power negative 1, and then multiply by 5 to the power 0, or raised to the power 0. Now they are the same bases, so what are we supposed to do? We're going to say 5. So we are going to say 5, we're going to get base, and then we're going to use the rule number 3, which says that when you're multiplying numbers with the same base, you add the powers. So we're going to say 3 plus, so 3 plus negative 1 close brackets plus 0. That's what we have. So those are the powers that we have. And then when you are answering those powers, when you're adding these powers, we're going to say 5. And then now there's a positive sign and there is a negative sign. Remember, go back to my previous video where I talked about board mass and I talked about those signs. I will multiply the signs. So I said whatever the signs whenever we're multiplying these signs, which is negative, both multiplied by negative, it will still give us negative. And then negative multiplied by negative, it will give us positive. And then positive multiplied by positive, it will give us positive. And then negative multiplied by positive, it will give us negative. So different signs, it's negative, and then same signs, it is positive that it gives us. So these are the rules that we're going to use as well. So we're going to say negative multiplied by positive, it's negative. 3 take away 1, it's 2, plus 0, it will give us 2. That is the final answer. So that's how we evaluate. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and please don't forget to subscribe don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video.